Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're bringing you from the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron trilogy line. This is Leader Class Galvatron. Finally got my hands on this bad boy, and I'm so excited. So we're going to take a deep dive into what this Galvatron figure is all about. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the packaging. Your very standard fare here as far as Kingdom packaging. There he is still in the box. And let's get an up-close shot of that artwork. Again, there's no denying this incredible artwork on these packages here. And this is no different here. You see Galvatron in his cannon mode, blasting away at the Autobots. And some of the detail on this artwork is just amazing. There he is on the side there in his robot mode. You can see the Matrix all lit up there. Just really, really cool. And as I mentioned, he is a leader class figure, so he's a big guy. On the bottom, you have your product information. On the top, you have your standard fare. You have the Decepticon logo there. On the side, you get your Kingdom artwork there with the Generations Authentic logo. So there it is. And on the back, you have your product shot of Galvatron. You see the Matrix there and him in robot mode. And he converts in 33 steps to his cannon mode. So without further ado, let's get this big, bad purple guy out of the box and see what he's all about. No, I didn't mean you, Megatron. All right, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to start off in his alt mode, which is his cannon mode, and then we'll go back to his robot mode last. So first and foremost, I just wanted to show what card I got in the Kingdom Galvatron package, and it is Dinobot. I do believe I have a Dinobot card, but I don't remember seeing this image, which is Dynamis, which is this sort of super mode here, and he looks really cool there. Really like the way that came out. Not sure if we're actually getting a release of this figure, but if we do, it'd be great because he looks really cool. So that's sort of his souped up bot mode there for a Dinobot, so Dynamis. So yeah, very cool. So that is the card I got with Galvatron. So speaking of Galvatron, this guy is awesome. He's just so hefty. He's so heavy. I really like the feel of this guy, and his cannon mode looks wonderful. And yeah, let's get into the details. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the tank treads down at the bottom. Not really tank treads. Not really tank treads because he's not a tank. Just the sort of rolling treads here. You can see some really nice silver paint on there with some nice molded detail at the bottom there. And of course, all throughout this figure, you get some really nice silver paint and just molded detail all over the place. I really don't like this sort of weathering on here. I wonder if I can take that off with some alcohol. I know some people have taken off the battle damage on his chest with some alcohol, so kind of wondering if that works the same. But anyways, looking at the details here. So again, you get a lot of nice molded details, some panel lining there. And all over the place, you get that really nice just silver paint here and here. And again, just molded detail all over the place. And I really like this part here. You can see underneath here, you get a little bit of red paint there and these little sort of missile pods there hanging out. And of course, his guns do attach to either side as well as the Matrix. And we'll take those off and look at them in more detail. But yeah, as far as a cannon mode, I think this really came out nice. So comparing him with the Titans Return Galvatron, let's see if we can get them both in the shot here. So we have the Kingdom Galvatron on the left, and we have the Titans Return Galvatron on my right. Let me just move this back ever so slightly. So there we are. And you can see huge differences there, especially in the cannon mode. And I think the Titans Return cannon, maybe a little bit too big, but doesn't look too bad. So there's how they sort of compare with each other. So there's the Kingdom, and see if we can get them both in the shot there. Let's go to side by side. Again, let me just push this back a little bit. Bring my camera back, get them both in the shot. So yeah, that's how they compare there. I definitely think the Kingdom release pulls it off better. But I actually did take off this part on the Titans Return part, the airplane part back there. So it does look a little bit cleaner. So if you're wondering how it looks different, that's why, because I took that off there. But yeah, I think it's a nice update. It's a very nice update. So taking out that Titans Return figure there and focusing more on Kingdom Galvatron here. So let's take a look. Let's get these accessories off the side here. Now these are able to just peg in on the side via these little slots here. So there are pegs right here and they can just slot on there. So there's 3 accessories that this guy comes with, and also the Matrix. You can put it around the cannon there, and there actually is a port that plugs in right here. So it actually stays in nice and secure. So putting that down for a second, and let's take a look at the chained matrix here. So very cool. You do get a little bit of nice sort of rusty brown paint and the blue on the inside, and you have some nice silver paint. And the chain itself is really cool detail. It would have been nice if it was actually a chain. I mean, it would have been more accurate, I think. As it is, it's just sort of it's pretty soft plastic, but it's definitely not going anywhere. So yeah, it's nice. It's a nice updated version of the matrix there. So I'll just hang that off there for a sec. And he has two exact guns here, two very similar, not similar, they're exactly the same. So there they are, and they're supposed to be the spaceship, I guess. So it's very interesting that they decided to do this. They have the spaceship, and the actual detail on this is really cool too. You get a nice molded detail there, especially on these sort of side wings here. Very, very nice. And these can combine, so you have a peg and a port here, and you have a peg and a port here, and they just easily peg together. And then he can hold this in bot mode, so you have the peg on either side of there. So makes for a interesting looking gun there. So again, it would have been nice if they had a little bit more G1 accurate gun. Kind of don't know what they were thinking with this. I mean, although it's a kind of a cool gimmick or whatever, I would have preferred to him just having his big chunky G1 gun. That's just my opinion though. But I do appreciate what they're trying to do with this, the spaceship thing. So anyway, so he does come with those three accessories. And he does have wheels on the bottom. Let me just show you that before we get into the bot mode. He does wheels here and here. And then on this part here, there are two wheels back here. But I find that, let's take these accessories off. I find that he doesn't really roll that well. I mean, you can kind of hear him rolling, but it's not really the greatest roll in the world. But it is what it is. It's not bad. But anyways, yeah, let's get this beast all transformed into his robot mode and see how he fares. All right, so here we have Kingdom Galvatron all transformed into his bot mode, and he looks very stunning with the matrix around his neck and all his weapons on the back. It is very nice that they have weapon storage for the guns. And you can see how they fit there on the back as he goes around the turntable. And yeah, I know, wait for him to come around again, but I know I have his arms switched around so you can see the sort of the pinholes in the front. But I do like how his shoulders sit a little bit higher. As they came in the box, they were a little bit low. And although I don't really like the look of the pinholes, like right here, I really don't like the look of that, but I do like the way his shoulders sit higher like that. So it's kind of why I turned them around. So I know there's another fix for that, but you have to kind of take them apart, and I'm not willing to do that with this figure. So anyways, let's get him off the turntable and let's get a closer look at Kingdom Galvatron. All right, so taking a closer look at Kingdom Galvatron, he is all accessorized with his guns on the back and his matrix around his neck. So we're gonna take those off and just focus on the figure itself. So first of all, we'll just take off the matrix there, and it does just fit around the neck. And his guns do fit on the back with the help of there's a slot there and there's a peg on the back. So both guns just fit right on the back there. So we'll just take those off. And just picking this guy up, you know, the heft of this guy and the weight of this guy is just really nice. We'll bring in some other comparisons here in a moment, but just picking this guy up, it feels really nice. It feels nice and heavy and chunky, and I really like the look of this guy. First and foremost, let's take a look at that head sculpt. The head sculpt is really, really nice. I am a little bit worried about these parts here. When I'm transforming him, these parts that stick up, the sort of samurai helmet here, I can kind of see these breaking a little bit easy. They're kind of soft, but I notice when transforming, I'm a little bit worried about those breaking, but overall, it's a really nice head sculpt. I do sort of wish that the face was a little bit more sort of mean looking or kind of menacing looking. As it is now, it's very sort of neutral facial expression. Kind of wish he had a little bit more expression in his face, but that's not to say it is a beautiful head sculpt with a nice silver paint and some nice dark red for the eyes. And you just get some nice sculpt work on the helmet as well. So going down the figure, again, you saw in Canon mode, just beautiful silver paint all over the place. One thing I'm not a fan of, two things I'm not a fan of on this figure. One is this battle damage here. I think it looks awful. I did try rubbing it off with some alcohol, but I know some people have actually successfully done that, but I scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed and it still wouldn't come off. So Anyways, you do get a really interesting sort of pinkish Decepticon symbol. Again, I kind of wish they'd gone with a different color there. The abdomen with the red and the silver looks amazing. The rest of the figure looks really nice, and I love the purple they use for this. We'll bring in Cyclonus and Scourge here in a sec for some comparisons. But again, the battle damage on the arms and the chest, and also down here on the legs, this just looks like an afterthought to me. I mean, this looks awful. Just looks like they just smeared some, some paint on there, and it's not helping this figure at all. So my two qualms about this figure is the battle damage on the chest and the arms, and also on the lower legs. I think if that was not there, I think this figure would probably be close to perfect. Anyways, going down the figure again, you see the hip skirts there, really nice. You get some nice molded detail all through the legs. The legs came out really nice. I really love the contrast between the purple and the black and the gray there. You get some nice red paint on the knees. Again, some nice sculpt work down here on the shins. And the feet are nice and chunky. I really love the feet on this guy. And just going around the figure here. Yeah, he's got his cannon treads. I keep calling them tank treads. His cannon treads hanging off the arms, which does hinder articulation a little bit. We'll get into that in a moment. But just turning the figure around. Again, not much of a backpack. He does transform really nicely into the bot mode. Everything's pretty well hidden there. And there's no hollow parts really either. So this guy is just solid, and the weight and the heft of this guy is just really nice. Now, taking a look at just gonna take off his cannon here for a sec and get up close and personal with this guy. With the cannon, I really like the way this cannon is sculpted. I like the color they did. I like the fact that you have the clear here and sort of the matte finish here. It does have a really nice effect, and there is some nice actual sculpted detail on this cannon part. And then here as well, you get really nice silver paint with some black plastic in there. And I just think it overall came out really, really nice. And whoa, and there are two, there are two ports that you can put it on. So you can put it up here, or you can put it in there. So I like to put it up a little bit higher, so it looks like it's more of an extension of his arm there. So getting into articulation with this guy, actually gonna just take this off for a sec. So getting into articulation, his head is on a ball joint, and you do get a little side to side motion, and you do get a little up and down, not much. Again, I kind of wish there was a little bit more movement. Because the face is not that expressive, it would have been nice if there's a little bit more movement in the head to get him more expressive, some more expressive poses. His head does a full 360 there. His arms, again, I do have his arms backwards, I know that, but I do like the way it looks. So originally, the way it came in the box was this way. So if you just take his arms like this, see if I can do this here. No, I don't want to undo that. So if you do that and just take his arms and spin it around that way, he came in the box like this, and you can just see the difference in the shoulders. So this one is how it came in the box. It's a little bit lower. And then if you turn it around, it sits a little bit higher. I think this looks like a little bit more natural. So I do like this, although I don't like how the exposed pin looks. So we'll just turn that back around. It's coming apart there. So we'll just turn that around. And again, you just sort of turn the bicep there. And you can turn it back like that. So anyways, you get a full rotation on the shoulder. It can go in and out. And again, the joints on this guy, God, that keeps coming apart. The joints on this guy are really tight, so it's very nice. You do get a bicep swivel on the arm, on the upper arm there. And you do get a full double joint on the elbow. You get a 90-degree plus. Because of transformation, this pin does connect to the upper shoulder. So you do get a double joint on the elbow, and you get some wrist articulation, which is very nice. It goes around. So yeah, you get a lot of posability in the arms, taking those arms out, and you do get full waist rotation. Again, it's hindered a little bit by this back piece, so you can kind of move it side to side. Again, the hip skirts, you can move up to let the legs articulate. So he can do the full splits like that. He can kick up that high, and he can kick back that much. Again, this back part kind of gets hindered by that. And you have a nice thigh rotation there, and you get a nice, almost exactly 90 degree at the knee. And you do get the ankle tilt, a little bit of ankle tilt. I think because of in the cannon mode that these parts come down, the ankle tilt is just a little bit hindered because of this piece. where you actually pull that down for the cannon mode. So you do get a little bit, but not much. So pretty poseable. This guy's pretty poseable. I wish he had a little bit more articulation in the head and a little bit more of the ankle tilt. So, but he's so hefty that you can get him in some very nice poses. So we're going to put his cannon back on his arm here. Again, like I said, the cannon treads, they do, you know, there's not much you can do about it, but it is hindered a little bit. You know, the arm articulation is hindered a little bit by these cannon treads back here. But just putting on his cannon there. And let's get him back down here. And we'll do some comparisons here. So we have Kingdom Galvatron there. And let's bring in Kingdom Cyclonus. Been waiting to do this comparison for a while here. You got Kingdom Cyclonus, and then we have Studio Series 86 Scourge. So there they are, sort of the triple threat of the Decepticons. Let's get them a little bit more. Let's get Galvatron. So he's looking up a little bit more. And there they are. So there you have sort of a triple trouble of the Decepticons here. So really cool. Really like the way they look together and the way they scale. Again, I really like the purple on Galvatron. It's not as lavender color as Cyclonus, which I like, but Cyclonus was, you know, he was more like that lavender color. I really like the deep color purple that they use for Galvatron. And of course, Scourge is awesome too. And I'm very sad. Please be careful if you have this figure. I didn't mention it in my review because this happened after his goatee. The left part of his goatee broke off. So if you guys have this Scourge figure, please be careful. That breaks off very easily. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just, you know, adjusting his head or something. And I think I just put a little bit of pressure on that goatee and it broke off. And I don't really know where the piece went, and I'm not about to find it. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but please be careful if you do have Studio Series 86 Scourge. That goatee will break very easily if you're not careful. So all in all, I'm very happy with this Kingdom Galvatron figure. Again, really hefty, chunky. The weight is really nice. The colors are great. Paint apps are awesome. Transformations, fun, very intuitive. The cannon mode's great too. Again, I just don't like the battle damage and, you know, the legs and the chest and the arm. I think they could have done without that. Other than that, I think it's great. It's probably the best Galvatron figure that we've gotten to date. So speaking of, there's that other... let's just take these guys out. And there is the Titan Returns Galvatron, just for a quick Galvatron side by side there. And yeah, I mean, Kingdom Galvatron, no contest. I think Kingdom Galvatron does take the cake in this case. I know some people are very, you know, they like the Titans Return Galvatron, but it's just a great update to that Galvatron. So anyways, all in all, I have a very positive review for this Galvatron figure. A couple things here and there, but overall, I definitely highly recommend this figure. If you guys can find him, pick him up for sure. You won't be disappointed. So anyways, this has been Matt in Japan for Kingdom Galvatron. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.